Hello, everyone. Can everyone hear me? Welcome. My name is Carmen Turner-Schott. I'm going to talk a little bit about moon signs, houses, and healing, which is my new book that's out with Llewellyn. And I want to tell you a little bit about myself first, and then we have 30 minutes to talk about each moon sign. And I'm going to give different tips and different things I've seen with clients through the years. And then at the end, I'm going to try to answer your 10 questions. Or 10 minutes of questions so you can share. So I'll look in the chat. If I happen to catch something, I'll address it as I'm going through each moon sign. But just want you to know that I'm a self-taught astrologer. I started studying astrology at 16. I started doing consults at 19, and just for fun with family, friends, when in graduate school and college. And I became a licensed clinical social worker. And I've been working with trauma survivors and children, teens, and adults for the past 28 years. And I've done a lot of research on the 8th and 12th astrological houses specifically. So if there's any 8th and 12th house people out there, let me know. And I'll share my knowledge about healing, being resilient, transforming, and just really utilizing the power of your moon sign is why I wrote this book, because I feel like the moon sign really is the powerful tool that we can tap into our emotions to overcome hard times and challenges. So you can find out more about me on my website, carmenturnerschott.com, but I'll talk to you a little bit at the end about where you can follow me. So in astrology, the moon, a lot of people don't realize that the moon is just as powerful as their sun sign. And the moon is our emotional nature. It's our inner nature. It's that part of us that we often hide. And it's often associated with the mother figure and how we experience nurturing, how we perceived our mother figure. Even if she maybe wasn't that way, we saw our mother figure in a certain sign. And that's also in my book a bit. Another thing the moon sign does, it's where we find emotional fulfillment. It's where we find our passion, what we enjoy to do, what makes us emotionally happy. It's where we find our comfort, our security. And it's also a lot about what we value. And in the book, I talk a little bit about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and you can really look at the different levels: social, material, security needs, self-actualization. And I describe each moon sign and kind of what their needs are. And those needs is what helps you become strong and overcome certain challenges. I believe that you can use your moon sign to heal, transform, and become more resilient. And I'm going to share a little bit about each moon sign with you, some of my favorite things, some of the things I've witnessed with clients through the years. And one thing to know, we always want to look at what house is the moon in, because the house that the moon is in is really going to show us where that energy is going to go out into the world. And so the houses are very important. And so in the book, I talk a little bit about what house each moon is in and how that portrays and some experiences you'll have. So at the end, we can talk a little bit about that. So there's 12 moon signs. And I know a lot of people on here probably know all this and are really into astrology. So I will just say that each sign is ruled by a certain element: fire, air, earth, or water. And those energies, are what makes the personality happen. So astrology to me is energy. And so just knowing a basic, analyzation of each element helps you kind of connect to, okay, that's why this moon sign is passionate and fiery and all these things. And so what I'm going to start with Aries. Do we have any Aries moons in the house? Go ahead and share in the chat here. So Aries, fire moon. Aries is ruled by Mars. It's passionate, it's brave, it's courageous. Some of Aries moon's strengths are their confidence, their stamina. They're very independent, they're very self-reliant, they're assertive, they're courageous. They can also be known to be a little bit self-centered and a little bit selfish, but they can't help it because they're ruled by Mars, which is all about the self. How does this affect me, right? And they're very passionate people. I'm an Aries moon, and my moon is in the 8th house, so it really manifests in a very intense way for me. And Aries moons tend to make decisions based on pure emotion and their gut instinct, but that can get them in trouble sometimes because they can be impulsive and impatient. So one thing I always tell Aries moons is just to step back, take a deep breath, and just wait before you say something and before you act, because you don't want to say and do something you'll regret, which often Aries moons, we can't hold back. We don't like to wait. Aries moons like action. They like things to be quick, fast, and they like to move forward quickly from things. They like to make decisions. They don't like to sit and ponder and everything. They go on their gut instincts, and they're typically very instinctual people, right? And they have a survival instinct that I find kicks in a crisis where they can act quickly. And a lot of people that have Aries energy are really good in trauma and crisis situations. A lot of them go into the military. They work as, police officers, ER doctors, working with trauma survivors, 24/7 hotlines where they have to drop everything and respond to someone in need. That's an Aries kind of energy. And so Aries is one of my favorite moon signs, because I feel like their greatest strength is overcoming challenge, because they like competition. They like challenge. A lot of them use that anger, they have, to overcome really difficult situations. Some people say Aries moons have a temper. They do at times, and I admit, we do, but we tend to repress it. And depending on what house your Aries moon is in, it's going to manifest very differently. If your Aries moon is in the fourth house, you're probably going to be more emotionally focused on your home and family. And that's where you're going to show your temper and vent and get loud and express yourself, is at home. If it's in the 12th house, you're going to hide, and you're not going to show everybody that fiery, emotional inner nature that you have. You're going to be more elusive and mystical and private. Okay, so that's how the houses kind of morph and affect these energies. So Aries moon clients, a lot of them tell me that they hold on to their feelings and they repress them. And it's kind of like a water pot boiling, gets hotter and hotter, and eventually it snaps, and they raise their voice. They can't keep their mouth quiet anymore. They have to speak the truth, and they got to tell you what they really think and feel, because they feel it so strongly. It's like a wave of emotion comes over them. And I'm an Aries moon. I've experienced it, and I've met so many Aries moons, and they share with me the same thing. When they have had enough or they're frustrated, they can't hold it in anymore, and they tend to be very vocal, very emotionally intense. And some people don't know how to take it, because they're usually very friendly and bubbly and positive and happy people. But when they get mad, you're going to hear about it. But the thing I like about them is they're very truthful. They're very honest. They're very blunt and bold. And they'll be the one in the room that says things that no one else will say, that everyone else wants to say. And an Aries moon will say it because they want to speak the truth. They're all about being truthful and honest. And it's hard for them, because their anger at times can affect them physically and their health. So they really need a good outlet for their anger. And it really can help them survive and overcome their hardest life challenges. Even though they might hit rock bottom and be depressed for a little while, it's like an Aries moon has a fire. That fire energy helps them pick themselves up, dust themselves off, and move forward. And that's their strength. They want to get on with things, and they want to look to the future. And so that's really something that helps them overcome crisis and any kind of trauma. And one Aries moon client said, I'm so lucky I get over things quickly, especially emotional heartache. And so these are some things that Aries moon share. And I see we have a lot of Aries moons in here. Yes, Aries moon children, that's a good, I'm glad someone said that. They do cry quite easily, because, when they're younger, they don't have the words or the, sophistication yet to really describe what they're feeling in a deep way. So they will maybe have a little temper tantrum, right? They might cry very easily, or when they get angry, they cry. That's an Aries thing as well, because they're so powerful. Emotional nature is so strong. They can't contain it. And so if it comes out at you, they forgive and forget easily, and they move on. And other moon signs might be hurt, licking their wounds still, and not okay with how they treated them. But Aries get over it quickly, and you just got to realize that they like to vent, get it out, and then they move on. And they're not mad anymore. They're over it. And it's like, boom, boom, they're done. And so that's what I like about them. They don't hold a grudge. And then, so now we're going to look at Taurus. Taurus is an earth moon, ruled by Venus. And so Taurus is a very calm, stable, a sturdy kind of a energy. When I meet a Taurus moon, I feel it right when I meet them because they're very observant and patient and kind of quiet, but they got a very comforting energy. It's like very grounded energy, right? And then they have these two sides. They can be very strong-willed, like the bull, right? Put their little horns down, and they don't like to make change. They like things the way they always are. They like things organized. They like things planned. They don't like the unexpected. So they're committed. They can be very loyal. They like stability. They like creature comforts. They like to be cozy and comfortable. They like food. They like to be with their pets and their family. They're very affectionate people. They need that affection and love and that physical touch. Taurus really rules the senses. So all the senses, sight, smell, touch, hearing, they're very sensitive to sounds, loud noises. Different things can be very unsettling to them emotionally. So they need peace and harmony. A Taurus moon really does, to feel that they are safe and secure to express their true feelings and emotions. And Taurus moons, always say when they make their mind up, nobody can change it. It's very difficult to change their mind because when they make their plan, they stick to it. And they may regret it later. So one of the things they need to do is to take advice from others sometimes. It's okay to listen. Other people might be right. And so take that to heart. And if they listen to others, they can really grow and achieve a lot more. They're hardworking. They're very, very stable emotionally, but they can't be around toxic people or unhealthy environments because they will start to feel restless, and they'll feel anxiety, and they won't feel that calm and stable comfort that they need. And if they don't have that, they could get very loud. They talk about a bull in a china shop. Tauruses have a very slow building temper. They don't show a temper very often. And when they do show that they're upset, it's pretty serious because they typically are such patient people. So Tauruses are known for patience and planning, and they really are good at overcoming crisis because they're emotional stabilizers. And I find that, when people at work, when my Aries moon comes out, I work with some Taurus moon people. And when I'm upset and kind of venting and, man, I can't believe this, and I'm so upset, they just listen and they're like, you've done everything you can do. And they just calm you. Their presence and energy are so calming. And that's what I love about Taurus moons. And that's their strength, is their tenacity, their determination, their focus on the future and their goals, and being practical. They're a practical moon. But what else I love about them is they're artistic and creative. They're ruled by Venus. So they got this earthy nature, but they also got this artistic and creative nature. I know so many Tauruses that are a little bit possessive in relationships. They like to know and take care of others. They get a little jealous. I saw that in the chat. That's true. And they really need to express their creativity too, because some of them are very artistic, but they may not think it's practical. They may say, well, I can draw and paint and sing and do these things, but I can't make money at it, right? Because Tauruses rule the second house of money and finance. So they like to feel like what they're doing is reasonable, realistic, and practical, but they have both sides to them. And a lot of them have a beautiful singing voice. The throat rules Taurus. So singing, speaking, a soothing tone, a soothing voice, a lot of them have that. And they love music. A lot of them love music, and music can be very comforting to them. I have a Taurus moon clients have said, I know I'm stubborn. It's more like I don't want to be rushed or forced to make decisions. And that's true. They don't like to be rushed. They like things slow. And that can annoy other moon signs because they want to take action and they already made their mind up. And Taurus like, no, I'm not real sure about that. And they always say, I want to think about it. And they need to think and be ready emotionally to make change. They have a hard time letting go of the past. That is the thing with Taurus. Their childhood memories, past love, They're nostalgic. They're known to be pack rats and like to collect scrapbooks and pictures and movie ticket stubs of their first date, things like that. They have emotional connection to the past. They can sometimes get stuck in unhealthy emotions and not know how to let go. So letting go helps them grow stronger and everything. And they love food and comfort. And when they get emotionally upset, they like to eat. And that kind of soothes them. We have Gemini. We got a lot to go through. Gemini air, they're a moon sign. They're ruled by Mercury. They're adaptable, they're friendly, they're high energy. They're intelligent, they're natural communicators. They're humorous, they're witty, they have great social skills. So their social skills, their friendships, their communication, all of that helps them overcome and become stronger in a crisis. They're able to move on quickly, and they're able to change direction. They're mutable, so they can just shift, and they can multitask, and they can do all of these things that they need. They can juggle many things at once. They love to share information. They get bored easily. So if someone can't hold their mental attention, emotionally, they'll be bored. And in love, they need someone that can talk with them and be interested in the same hobbies and interests, and that makes them feel love. And they often are attracted to their friends and people that start out as a friend, and then it develops into more. They like their freedom and independence. They're very restless, and they're high energy people. Gemini moons, always on the go and get bored easily. They like it. They like mental stimulation, and that's what makes them feel emotionally comfortable and secure. Cancer is ruled by the moon. So it is very intuitive, empathic, imaginative, nurturing sign. It's known as the mother of the zodiac. Protective, family focused, psychic, can be a little bit controlling, also creative. Cancer loves to be home. They can really tap into their intuition and spiritual gifts to help them find answers to life's problems. They like to take care of everyone, nurture them, mother hen kind of energy, cook, clean, take care of their friends and family. They like to entertain in their home, but they can put their crab shell up to protect themselves, which really helps them protect that inner soft nature that they have, because they are water signs. So very sensitive, very, very empathic. They feel safest when they're with their own family and in their own home. They need alone time. They need time to read and write and cuddle with their pets and be by themselves in solitude to recoup their energies, so they can go back out into the world and work and be around people, because they can get drained easily because they're so open and sensitive as a water moon. Emotionally, they do like to control things, and sometimes that controlling behavior can be overly can push people away. So they have to learn to trust others, and that some people need their freedom and independence, and they don't want to be around them all the time. Cancer, when they love you, they want you with them all the time. And some other moon signs are like, whoa, I need my alone time. I have other friends, right? So it's not getting their feelings hurt is important for them, and not taking things personal, because sometimes it's not personal, right? It's just other people have their own personalities, their own energies. And yes, Cancer moons are very introverted, and they love to be home, and they love creativity. A lot of them are creative and artists and teachers. They love working with children. A lot of them go into the medical field, nursing, being a doctor, something, social work, anything with health. A lot of them do tend to be in the medical field too. Leo moons, fire. They're ruled by the sun. Leo's strengths are bravery, strength. They're romantic, artistic, creative, charming. They're dominant. They're passionate. They're playful. They're fun-loving. They're strong-willed. But they also have they need a sense of respect. They like being in a position of power. Their resilience comes from their optimism, their positivity, and their social skills. They're good at making people feel good. They're good at making you feel like, they like you, and they're very generous with their energy, and they like to shine, right? They love to shine, and they rule children. So they have their children at heart, like a child heart. But they can roar like a lion. Don't get me wrong. Leo moons also are natural leaders, and they're great on stage. They're great talking to people about what they believe, and they have this courage that can overcome any challenge. So that lion likes to be pet, right? But it also can roar, and it can attack if it needs to. So Leos are, they're fire, but to me, they have a very kind heart. Leos do, especially Leo moons, and they like to have fun. But the thing that a Leo moon needs the most to be strong is they need to feel loved. They need people around them. They need to feel appreciated, and they need to feel respected. Okay. And they need freedom in relationships. They don't want to be controlled. They act confident, but on the inside, they're soft. They want people to like them, and they want to make people happy. And children can bring them happiness as well. And their anger comes out when they don't feel appreciated and they're not getting enough attention. Virgo moon. Virgo is an earth moon ruled by Mercury. So they're analytical, they're detail focused, they're perfectionists. They have high standards. They're practical, hardworking, responsible, helpful. They're the sign of service. It's practical service. Okay, they like to practically do things for people, clean, cook, take care of their friend, bring them food when they're sick. They do these practical things, and that's how they show love. And Virgo moons are eloquent. They're really good at speaking, teaching, writing, sharing things, communication. They're ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication. So they have a very strong work ethic. They can be, they're very efficient. They can get a lot done. They're very dutiful. So if you tell them to do something, they're conscientious, okay? And they can be hard on themselves. So they got to get out of that perfectionistic tendencies and that guilt they have of not being perfect, because no one's perfect, right? But they try to be. And they always want to do, when they do things, their heart is in it, and they're trying to help you. They're not nagging you. Some people say Virgo moons are nagging. No, they like to point out things so they can make things better. That's why they notice everything that's wrong, or the misspelled word, or when something's not right, because they're planners, they're organized, and they are always prepared, and they like to be prepared. They don't like the unexpected, because they're an earth sign. They like to know what is going to happen. Virgo moons, their thoughts and mind affect them greatly. They have to be able to control those pessimistic, negative thoughts, or just their thoughts in general, because their mind is so active. It's that Mercury energy, similar to Gemini. They're always thinking. Their mind is on the go. So they really need time to settle down, get off electronics, get off the computers, read, just meditate and do breathing, and get their mind still before they go to bed, because they can have trouble sleeping. But showing love through practical things is how they show love. And some people think that they're kind of cold and not emotional. That's not true. They're very, very kind. They care, and they really want to communicate and let people know they care about them. And that's how they share things. And they love to learn, love to read, love to learn knowledge, and all those things bring them emotional happiness. Libra moons. Libra rules relationships and partnership. They're ruled by Venus. Their strengths are fairness, compromise, diplomacy. They always see both sides of an issue. They're that friend that if you're in a fight, three friends, they're in the middle saying, well, I can see her point, I can see his point. They always see both sides. They need balance. They're always trying to balance those scales, right? They're intelligent too. They love to learn. They love to study. They can be very creative and artistic, musicians, actors, artists. A lot of them are Libras. Also lawyers, people that are into fairness, justice. They like things that are to be fair. And they're really good in a crisis because they can remain calm. They have a very calming energy. I always find that air energy about them is a little different than, the other air signs. It's more about the people, and they connect with you more because they find their identity through other people, because, they're the scales of balance, they're metal. So they need relationships. That's how they feel happy and comfortable, is having people to love and people in their life to do things with. So they hate conflict, and they will run from it. They can be indecisive, and they don't always act. Okay. They wait, and because they get confused on what to do, because they can see the good in both decisions. Right. So they really, their strength is their ability to compromise and to put other people's needs first. Libra moons often put other people first, and they don't always take care of their own needs. So they have to not sacrifice for other people so much, but take care of what they need too. And what they want in a relationship is important too. So you can see this, being around other people and socializing makes me happy. Having love in a relationship partner is key. If they don't have that, many Libra moons tell me that they feel lost. They feel lonely. They always want to kind of have a relationship, and that they can't help it. It's because they rule the 7th house of intimate relationships. And so then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is a water moon ruled by Pluto. Pluto is a powerful, intense energy. So imagine your emotional nature has this Plutonian quality. So that's what makes Scorpios deep, magnetic, perceptive, loyal, very determined, very private, secretive, but also controlling, intuitive, but also very private people. They don't want you to know their secrets, but everyone tells Scorpio moons all their secrets, because Pluto brings up hidden things. It's like Pandora's box is open, and anything that people have, trauma, pain, any kind of secrets that they need to share, they tend to want to share it with Scorpio energy, because Scorpios just listen and absorb it, and their energy is very healing. Scorpio moons are healers. Often they're drawn to psychology, social work, counseling, energy work, astrology, all these things, because they really want to help others heal. And they help them naturally. Their energy is healing. You just talk to them and you feel better, because nothing shocks them. They're attached to the deeper, dark things of life, because Scorpio moons have often been through very traumatic experiences or loss, and they use those experiences to help others. And they're kind of the wise soul. They're the eagle. Their ancient symbol is actually the eagle, and that's the higher octave of Scorpio. The scorpion is the lower energy of Scorpio that stings and attacks. But Scorpio is the eagle, the phoenix that rises from the ashes. A lot of them have loss in their life, have lost loved ones, are connected to death. They're connected to grief. They use those experiences to help themselves heal and other people. They say, I'm very secretive and private. No one ever knows what I'm really going on inside of me. I keep it secret. I like to control things. It's hard for them to let go of things. It's hard for them to trust. They almost never trust people fully. It takes a special person for a Scorpio moon to trust, and you have to prove it to them that you're trustworthy, because they've been hurt, so they protect themselves. And betrayal kind of hurts them. And they feel things, they don't want to be around superficial people. They want deep conversations and deep talk about real subjects. They don't want to talk about stupid stuff. They're like, no interest. And you may feel that they can cut you off easily if they're not interested in something. And if you hurt them, they're able to kind of cut ties and move on. And they won't try to understand why you did it. They just won't trust you anymore. But they're healers. And Scorpio moons are very deep, and they get a bad reputation. I just want to say that there's a lot of good in Scorpio moons. My mother's a Scorpio moon. I got a lot of friends that are Scorpio moons, and they are excellent therapists and counselors and healers. And they're the person that you can tell anything to, and they will keep it secret. Okay. And if you ask them, they will keep it secret. And you can trust that they will give you their perspective in an honest way. Sagittarius, they're fun. I love Sagittarius moons. I just did a book signing, and I swear like 20 people were all Sag moons that came. And it's Jupiter. They're adventurous. Their strengths are adventurous. They're free-spirited, direct, honest, optimistic, positive, energetic, independent, open-minded. They're explorers. They love adventure. They like to drive in a convertible and let the wind in their hair, right? They like that sense of freedom, of being able to come and go where they want and what they're doing. It's just amazing. And I love them because they always are able to be, they're fire. So it's interesting because they can tell you very bluntly, yes, you messed up and you did something stupid, but they can say it in such a nice way and kind way that you take it and you listen to them. They don't mean to hurt you. Their intentions are pure. And I love that about them, because they're fire, so they're direct and they tell you the truth, but they also love to travel. They love to go to foreign countries and cultures and learn different things and study different religions and philosophy. All of that rules Sag, because they rule the 9th house. So when they get depressed, their strength is their optimism. They don't stay depressed long. They always see the glass is half full, not half empty. And that's what I love about Sag moons. And they love to come and go. They can have relationships, but they need their independence. My father's a Sagittarius moon. He's been married to my mother for, I think it's almost 50 years now. And they are very much alike. She's a Sag sun, he's a Sag moon. And he loves, they come and go, travel. They kind of do their own things and they trust each other. Sages need to be trusted and know that, hey, I'll come back. I need to roam a little bit. They love outdoors. They feel healing when they're out in nature, hiking out in the mountains, out by the water, getting to travel. All those things are so great for them. And that optimistic nature is what helps them be resilient and to overcome anything that happens in their life. We have Capricorn. Capricorn's an earth moon ruled by Saturn. Their strengths are responsible. They're practical, realistic, they're disciplined, productive people. They're workaholics. Okay. The Capricorns rule the 10th house of career and work and status in the public. So they love to work hard. They're traditional. They're stable. They're serious. They're a little bit cautious. The thing I like about Capricorn moons, my daughter's one, my brother, I got a bunch of in my life, is they're serious and practical about emotions. They don't trust their feelings. And so that's one thing they got to do is to trust their emotions more, because they see them as irrational or impractical. And it's not. Their emotions can help them greatly, and they can be very intuitive. Capricorn is known as the water goat. 1 foot in water, 1 foot on land. So they have an intuitive side to them, and they can be very witty and sarcastic. They're known to have a very dark sense of humor. I don't know if you've met Capricorn, any Capricorn moons here, but they have a very dark sense of humor. And a lot of them are just very focused on working hard, achieving their goals, and planning for the future. But what they want is to be able to take care of themselves and others. They don't want to have to suffer. They're the goat. So what does the goat do? It moves slowly to the top of the mountain. It takes time. It takes them time to get success. Capricorns it doesn't come easily to them, success. They have to work harder than a lot of people. Like Leo moons typically promote and get success easily. Leo energy. Capricorns have to put the effort in. It's that Saturn energy that rules them. And they feel like they have to work a little harder, but eventually they will get to the top of the mountain. And a lot of them say they can be pessimistic. They can go through dark moods where they feel irritable. They can get irritable, pessimistic, and things like that when they're not feeling well. And they can come out of it when they feel like they're being productive and they're achieving their goals and they're helping people. And they need to let go and have fun. They need to, be around people that can bring them out of their shell. So they're so serious and responsible emotionally. It's like they're little mini adults when they're children. They feel older than they are. A lot of them are drawn to older people because they feel like they respect them and they have the experience that a Capricorn moon wants to emulate. So they love that. They love history, and they love people that have knowledge and people that have lived through experiences. They respect them and they can learn from them. Aquarius moon. This is one of the moon signs that was the hardest for me to write about in the book. They're air, they're ruled by Uranus. And the reason is because it's hard for me to feel Aquarius energy. I can feel the energy of all of the signs except Aquarius, because they're in their mind so much. They're up here and they're innovative. They're original. A lot of them are non-traditional. They question authority. They question, why do we have to do things this way? They're free-spirited. They're social. They rule the 11th house of friendships, groups, acquaintances. They're very good at networking and connecting people and learning things. And they love their freedom and independence, probably more than any moon sign. They need to feel free. A lot of them choose not to have traditional relationships or to be committed to just one person forever. I mean, you got to look at the whole chart. So if you might have a lot of earth that might change this. So like I said, the house is important and the whole chart is important when we're looking at this. But just looking at the moon itself, they do like their freedom and independence, and they need to feel that their partner allows them to be unique, creative, and to express their individuality. Okay, that's big with Aquarius moon. And people think I'm unfeeling, but I just don't feel intensity of emotions like others do. They do care, and they're known to be humanitarians. They rule the 11th house, so they like to help people on a big scale. They just might not be able to handle extreme emotional displays and yelling and crying. It might freak them out, and they may need to just They'll step back and they'll just listen, and they'll try to give you practical, logical advice. That's how they will help you. Okay. And they're a long time traveling the world, exploring, taking classes, learning. Astrology rules Aquarius, so they may be interested in astrology, and because it's a science and any kind of scientific field, space travel, research, all these things are Aquarius moon energies. And they don't care what people think about them. That's the one thing I like about Aquarius moon. They're like, they like me or they don't. They're very confident in their individuality, and from a young age they typically want to be different. And if they want to dye their hair purple, they'll do it. If they want to get a tattoo or a eye ring or an eyebrow ring, they'll do it. And they don't really care if their parents care or not. They like it and they think it's cool. They like creativity and expressing their artistic nature. Then our last sign, Pisces, is a water moon. It's ruled by Neptune. It's amazing just to see how empathic and how sensitive Pisces moons are. They're compassionate, artistic, kind, spiritual, psychic, emotional, self-sacrificing. They see the good in people. They tend to be in their dream world or imagination. They dream things that happen. They feel people's pain. They need to learn to have boundaries. That's what keeps them protected in life, is boundaries, because they can be very trusting and vulnerable and can get hurt easily. Okay. But they feel very passionate about helping people. They like to feel that they have a spiritual purpose in life and that they're here to help others. And that's what they do. A lot of them are artists, musicians, that creative talent they have. And a lot of them want to help people. They go into psychology, counseling, social work, spiritual pursuits. A lot of them tell me that they attract unhealthy people. It's like they have a sign on their back that says, I can fix your problems. They have to learn that they don't have to help everyone all the time. They need to take care of themselves first. And they have to learn self-care and to love themselves and fill their cup up. Then they can go out and help everyone that needs help. And so they're really into spiritual service. A lot of them connect emotional happiness comes through believing in a spiritual higher power. And whatever that higher power is, they need a spiritual path to feel like their soul is here for a purpose. And they rule the 12th house. So it's all about connecting to the universe, the cosmic consciousness. And they're very, very connected to dreams and sleep, because Neptune, and Pisces rule the 12th house, which rules sleep and dreams. So I got through all 12. I know we're out of time for questions, but you can visit my website, www.carmenturnerschott.com. And you can also please follow me on Facebook, Deep Soul Divers Astrology, and Carmen Turner-Schott Writer. And you please message me, please post on there, and I will answer your questions. If I didn't get to it here, I promise you, post on my Facebook group. I have all kinds of social media, Instagram, Carmen Turner-Schott, author on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel, Carmen Turner-Schott. Has a lot of videos and things, but please message me. If you have any questions, I promise I will get back to you and I will answer.